Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi şrah li sadri ve yessir li emri vahlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli ve ceal li veziran min ehli Harun ahi üştül bihi ezri ve eşrikü fi emri key nusebbihake kesira ve nezkurake kesira inneke kunte bina basira. Ve sallallahu ala Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve ashabihi ve etbahi ve sellem. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. We have been studying the 20th word, which deals with the value of belief, what belief really contribute to human value. And this section has two chapters, and we are now in the second chapter, and the second chapter also has various remarks, and we have reached up to the middle of the second remark. And last week we read the verse ayat which says, God is the splitter of the seed, grain, and date stone. Allahu fatrul habbi wan nawa. No, Allahu falikul habbi wan nawa, splitter. Now, there, the author gave us an example. If a seed goes under the soil of worldly life, temporary life, a narrow one, and concerned with the worldly life only, and it decays there, rots there at the end, because it doesn't grow into a shoot and then a plant or a tree. But because it is only concerned with the worldly life, and the worldly life is limited to only what? It's obvious that the worldly life lasts until your body lives in this world. That's it. It doesn't go further, because worldly life doesn't take notice of the human spirit. So that the human spirit is really the cell which grows into a tree and becomes a completely different being. That is why the author wanted us to understand that the belief is the, if you like, life giving center, or growing, making the seed really a live being, a living tree, is the belief. So belief is important to understand for us, that if it is goes under the soil of worship, it means acknowledging God, the creator, who is the creator of the universe, and trying to understand how he could comprehend this God, understand this God, then explain everything in terms of him, and understand that the whole universe is declaring his qualities. Then he will be, this belief will be the means to innumerable perfections and bounties of paradise. That is how it becomes, with the language of the Quran, Sajaratul Tuba. It means a tree which represents permanent paradise. So it says, or the author says, option is yours. Either you can put your seed of humanity under the soil and work for this world only, then you can rot there, because at the end your life will rot anyways, will decay anyways under the soil. But if you realize that you have spirit, and this spirit wants to grow, is potentially able to grow into a tree, which is completely different from the seed itself. Completely, seed is in a shell, imprisoned, but tree is growing, producing fruit. Other plants producing vegetables, for example, or beautiful flowers. But if you don't really, if you like, give it to the service of the worship of God, then your life will be dead at the end. Right. But if you devote it to worship, you will see that it grows into the tree of paradise. It means permanent, infinite existence, because infinite existence can only be done by an infinite, absolute creator, who is the creator of the universe, demonstrates himself as the creator who has no limits at all, the way the universe is created. Now, we studied that, covered all this last week. Now we studied up to this paragraph. Yes, true progress is to turn the faces of the heart, spirit, intellect, and even the imagination. That is very important. We think that imagination is false, but it is a human reality that we have to use this quality. It is given to us because human beings, only through using the imaginations, can really comprehend the capacity that human beings can have and is going to have. Imagination goes into infinity. It means, although I don't know, but there must be the continuation of the existence. There must be. Only this imagination can do this. So heart is important because it is what makes us human beings. Spirit is important because it is our capacity, potentiality, what we can really, or how much we can really develop, and intellect to make the analysis and understand. And also, that's the imagination. And other subtle faculties given to man towards eternal life. We are created for eternity, inshallah. And for each to be occupied with the particular duty of worship worthy of it. Worthy of it, I understand this particular duty to worship worthy of its capacity. This capacity, human capacity, is or can only be satisfied with acknowledging the infinite, absolute creator and worshiping him. After acknowledgement requires really to worship him. Progress is this. True progress is this. And I will continue until the end of the paragraph to read, and then, inshallah, I would like to hear your comments, concerns, questions, inshallah. Progress is not as the people of misguidance imagine. Misguidance reduces human being to body only. To plunge into the life of this world, satisfy the bodily needs, and all its minute details of this worldly life, bodily life, and in order to taste every sort of pleasure. every sort of pleasure, but temporary pleasure. We shouldn't forget that. Worldly pleasures are only you take it, you taste it, and after so loving, finished. Now, if you are proud of your things, they get old or transient. They are not permanent. They are transient. Even the basest worldly pleasures make subject to the evil commanding soul. Evil commanding soul is forget about your spirit, forget about your human qualities, expectations. These are imaginations. Of course, how a human being can imagine? Why this sense of imagination is given to human being? Do you think the matter can be the source of existence of imagination? So it is a challenging question. So we cannot really say, yes, matter produced it. My cells of my body did it. Impossible. So the evil commanding soul and all the subtle faculties and the heart and intellect and make them assist it. Assist this human progress. To do this is not progress. Here, if you just devote your life to this word, it is not progress, it is decline. I saw this fact in a vision, which is described in the following comparison. Vision means you can imagine this, but it is not that I physically experience this, but I am presenting to you in a way that, in a scenario that you can understand the difference between true progress and corrupt progress or wrong progress, let's say. I'm waiting for your comments. If anyone. Feriha says in chat box, but certain conditions and things may inspire for imagination to come into existence. May inspire for imagination to come into existence. We have other faculties to control it. We have intellect, we have spirit, we have heart. So imagination doesn't necessarily mean that it's a real existence within the world. Imagination is given to us to imagine what is beyond the universe, beyond limited temporary life. For example, I can prepare something for tomorrow. How? By imagination. Because I imagine that I am going to leave tomorrow. Is it guaranteed? No. But imagination is very important faculty of human being as far as I understand. But if it is not controlled by heart, spirit, and intellect, then it may imagine something doesn't have any existence at all. We have to keep it. Like intellect. Intellect can be used to understand, to find out the truth, can be used under the control of human free will, can be used to justify or cover up the truth, to justify my whims, caprices. The intellect can be used in this way. But on the other hand, heart and spirit cannot be. That is something different. So we have different varieties of possibilities in order to use our human qualities. That is what makes us a human being with free will. Otherwise, if we were created with heart and spirit only, we wouldn't be able to exercise free will. Yeah. Go ahead, Feria.
So you're saying pretty much using the faculty of imagination for helping me be convinced of the necessity of an eternal life. And if so, then yeah, that would make sense. But because I have other faculties, logic, emotions, all of them falling under human consciousness, so it would make sense for me to be convinced that this universe points to something that I'm made to progress towards, that my human feelings are made to progress towards that. And also, I don't know, somewhere along, I was breaking up a little bit, but it said something about worldly affairs that we go through in this universe. And I think using those to quench the spiritual thirst, because I think everybody like the material side is part of who we are, but then even within that, you question, what is this for? Like every day, Monday to Friday, you're doing the same thing over and over again. Just taking a day in our lives, I guess, and just pondering over its existence, and then really what does my existence actually points to. So what I'm trying to get at is really utilizing my worldly day-to-day affairs to connect to the source of my existence, because yeah, I mean, human beings, we question everything. Like, what's the end goal? What's the purpose of doing anything? Even everything is transient. Even people are transient. They depart. And then separation and departure also makes us question a lot, especially separation, even from people. Like, am I just for, I cannot be for this world's sake, pretty much, if that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. So it means we shouldn't really bury it under the soil of this worldly life, worldly concern, because worldly concerns is closed. It starts with your birth and ends with your death. That's it. That is what everything is all about. But we have to use all these qualities according to their capacity, heart and spirit, intellect, and the sense of imagination has endless concerns. By my bodily needs are extremely limited as compared to, we cannot compare even what human spirit needs, what human imagination needs. I want permanent existence. Now, because I cannot really comprehend what permanent existence is, but I can imagine how endless. That is what imagination does this job. That is what we have to really use them according to their capacities. Now, shall we come to vision now? Thank you for your comment, by the way. Yeah. The vision. I was entering a large town. When I looked and saw it was full of large palaces. At the doors of some of these palaces was merrymaking like a brilliant theater. Merrymaking like a brilliant theater. What does it mean? It captured and held everyone's attention and was entering them. So I was entering them. I looked carefully and saw that the master of such a palace had come to the door. He was playing with the door, with the dog, and assisting in the merrymaking. The ladies were indulging in sweet conversations with ill-mannered youths. Ill-mannered youths. Grown-up girls were organizing the children's games. Again, games. And the doorkeeper had taken the role of directing the others. Doorkeeper has the role of directing the others. I then realized that the inside of the huge palace was completely empty. Everybody is busy with entertaining themselves. Its refined duties all remained undone. Their duties, what is inside human beings, we understand that heart, intellect, spirit, imagination, they are remained undone. They have not fulfilled their function. The morals of its inhabitants had declined so that they had taken on these roles at the door. Everybody is out, playing with or busying themselves with not what human quality inside has, but what human skin has. Trying to make their skin look as better as good as possible. That is and they or stomach. This is outside of human beings. Outer side of human beings' body, inner side of human beings are spirit, intellect, heart, imagination, all these human qualities. This is one palace. Everybody is out, busy with merrymaking. I passed on until I came to another large palace. Here we are now. I saw that there was a faithful dog stretched out at the door and a stern and quiet doorkeeper. Now, doorkeeper in the first palace was inside, serving inside. Here, out. Doorkeeper is out. Now, you can take the best example of doorkeeper, what? Tongue, taste, ability to taste. You can take something, it is something nasty and nose, it is something nasty smelling. They say, no, don't put it inside. That is what doorkeeper's duty is, to decide what is good for the body, what is not good, again, harmful for the body. That is working outside. It means bodily side of human beings. It had an undistinguished appearance, not really has certain characters, not just undistinguished appearance. I was curious, why was the other the way it was, and this palace like this? Why there are two different appearances here? I went inside. Let me see what is going on inside of this building. Then this palace. Of course, palace is human being. Yeah? We understand this. Then I saw that the inside was very merry. That is what very important to me. The worldly concerned people who don't take notice of their creator, their duty, and who don't really look for the opportunities to satisfy their human spirit, only satisfy their outward appetites, appearances, caprices, body caring. They're busy with this only, outward world. They seem to be happy outwardly. That is what the first building, first palace represented. The second palace, when you look at a Muslim man, yes, he may feel something inside, but other side, he is not dancing, he is not shouting, he is very mature, he is very, honorable appearance, and not, of course, frowned head, no, but calm within his existence, and doesn't want to do any show off that I am artificially happy, but artificially appearance. Not, inside is burning, empty, not satisfied. Now, he said, I went inside, then I saw that the inside was very merry. Apartment over apartment, oh, duty is different. Spirit acts in another way. Heart's duty is different and functioning. Intellect's duty is their functioning. Imagination's duty is their functioning. Apartment over apartment. The people of the palace were busy with their different refined duties, very refined duties, delicate duties. The men in the first apartment, the people in the first apartment were overseeing the administration and running of the palace. In the apartment above that, now the apartment by apartment, it means level by level, stair, first stair, second stair. They were all, one of them in the first apartment administering and running the palace, taking care of the needs of the body. In the apartment above that, girls were teaching the children. Now they are functioning, not only playing, but teaching the children, maybe through playing, but purpose is teaching. Above that, the ladies were occupied with fine arts and beautiful embroideries. It means humanly appreciated beauties. And on the top floor, and on the top floor, the master was exchanging news with the king. This is very important. The master of the building, the one who takes care of the needs of the whole building, whole palace, was exchanging news with the king. The first palace was, the master of the palace was arranging the merrymaking activities outside of the building. Outside of the building. But the master of the second palace was exchanging news with the king. Now we understand. News with the king, everybody here understood, I'm sure you did. Yeah, okay. Let me explain this. News, exchanging news with the king, and then if Feriha still wants to talk, then she can. Or was it an old hand?
It was an old hand on my bed, sorry.
Okay, it's all right, yeah. So, exchanging news with the king. You understood it. the organizer of the palace, it means human free will, is now the master was exchanging this. It means the one who rules, controls, the master of the palace is receiving message or exchanging news with the king. It means communicating with the king. Who is the king? The owner of the universe, all palaces, the owner of the whole human being is the king. It means the creator, the Lord of the universe. So he is investigating what the king is, the owner of the universe, owner of all humankind, wanted from human beings. And he says, yeah, I am doing this. Oh, I neglected this. Please forgive me. This kind of transaction, worship transaction, is going on between two master of the building, the owner of this building, the one who is responsible to take care of the need of this palace, human palace, is communicating with the owner of the universe, and was busy with his own elevated duties in order to maintain the people's tranquility and his own attainments and progress. So everything must be working seriously and perfectly. And I must make a progress in order to develop improve my human potentialities, turn them into human qualities. They didn't stop me since I was not visible to them. I mean, this is just a vision. It means really the way, figure of speech, to be presenting it, the idea in a scenario. And then I was able to wander about, go around. Then I came out and looked around. Everywhere in the town were these two sorts of palaces. It means the human beings either look like, more look like to the first palace example or second palace example. And was busy with his own elevated duties in order to maintain the people's qualities and his own attainment and progress. They didn't, sorry, we read this one. Then I came out and looked around. Everywhere in the town were these two sorts of palaces. I asked about this and they told me. Now, the palaces where there is merrymaking at the door and whose insides are empty belong to the foremost of the unbelievers. I think it is understood by now. Everybody is clever to understand this and smart to understand this. And the people of misguidance, unbelievers and people of misguidance. The others belong to honorable Muslim notables. It means believing people, communicating with their creator, always in the worship or through the worshipful act and receiving his message, responding back to his message. This is the gist of the worship. Then in one corner, I came across a palace on which was written my name, Said, the author's name. You can put your name here. I can put my name, Ali. Now, it means me now. Let me take care of my palace. I was curious. I looked more closely and I as though saw my image on it. It means really, one palace is really me. Calling out in utter bewilderment, I came to my senses and awoke. It means now the vision, dream is over. It means not dream, but this is the way of presenting. And now I shall interpret this vision for you. May God cause good to come out of it. May it be good, this interpretation of the dream. The town was human society. It was obvious. And the state of man's civilization. Each of the palace was a human being. Again, it was obvious and we understood. The people of the palaces were the subtle faculties in men, like the eyes, ears, heart, inner spirit, inner heart, spirit, intellect, and the things like the soul and the caprice. Soul means his ego-centered concerns, actually, ego, and caprice, and powers of lust and anger. All these kind of things. This is the all the equipment of the human beings now. These people of palaces were the people in the human, the elements of human being, actually. Each of man's faculties has a different duty of worship and different pleasures and pains. Each of these faculties, human faculties, the soul and caprice. I mean, let's say this one, ego, maybe it is better to follow it. Soul and spirit confuses in English. So the ego and caprice and powers of lust and anger are like the doorkeepers and the dog and doorkeeper. Thus, to make the elevated subtle faculties subject to the soul and caprices and make them forget their fundamental duties is certainly decline and not progress. You can interpret the rest. Now, I think we understood. What we have to do. We have to take care of the needs of our body, but this is the doorkeeper's duty. But other subtle faculties, human faculties, must be employed to improve our potentialities and try to communicate with the King of the universe. King of the universe is not really a strange expression for Christian people. So we understand Rabbul Alamin, the Lord of the universe. So we understood here. Any comment, any concern, and please question if needed. The text seems to be easy to, I think, understand for you. I will continue. If you like, you can interrupt me anytime you want. Third remark.
It was interesting, Brother Ali, that you mentioned about the state of a believer from the inside. A believer is not supposed to be hallowed, but it's supposed to be, I guess, satisfied. So I'm still pondering over it because, yeah, I think that's what we need to work on pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I guess cultivating our human potentialities to connect with the source of our existence. Otherwise, yeah, there may be a little risky area of falling to the hello state.
Yeah. So we will, otherwise we will just let our seed, human seed, rot under the soil of this world or worldly concerns. Now, in regard to this, to his acts and deeds and his labor, man is a weak animal and impotent creature. Well, this is interesting. Why man is a weak animal and impotent creature, impotent, powerless creature? Why we cannot satisfy ourselves really by ourselves? Because we have this huge capacity, impossible to satisfy within my capacity. The extent of his power of disposal and ownership in this respect is to narrow that it is no greater than as far as his hand can reach. I can only in fact, we don't realize really, I can only go and sow the seeds in the soil and wait until it is created for me, the result, the plants, whatever I am waiting for, the tree or vegetable plants. I cannot do anything, just wait. And as far as my needs of my spiritual needs of my spirit, my intellect, my heart, I cannot do anything. I cannot produce anything by myself. I cannot satisfy my needs for permanent satisfaction. Impossible. Perfect satisfaction. Impossible. I try to go to market and buy something and try my best to get the most, the best looking dresses or worldly things. And at the end, when I die, they have no meaning for me anymore. I cannot do anything. I cannot really satisfy any of the needs of my spirit. Only temporary, very temporary base, very temporary. I enjoy today and finish. I enjoy my meal, and then as soon as I swallow it, finishes. That much. Now, on the other hand, domestic animals, even the reins of which have been given to man, have each taken a share of his weakness, impotence, and laziness, so that they are compared with their wild counterparts, because they are taken care of, but they are, if you compare them with their wild counterparts, a great difference is apparent, like domestic goats and cattle and wild cattle, goats and cattle. But in regard to passivity, acceptance, supplication, and entreaty, advocating, invoking, please the Creator, come to my help and help me. Man is an honorable traveler. In the hostel of the world, but if we passivity means, what does it mean? Doing something, nothing. Sorry, doing nothing. Passivity, no. Recipient. Passivity is recipient. I need, my Creator will provide it to me. Acknowledgement of the creatorship of my needs. Acknowledgement of the Creator of my needs. That is passivity. Activity here, I mean, being active, means I am going to satisfy myself. You can satisfy only the needs of your body, never the needs of your spirit and heart, never but on body. And body is transient. Every day it gets older and older, and it dies at the end. He is the guest of one with capital O, one, unique one. It means the king, actually. I mean, king of the universe. One so generous that infinite treasures of mercy have been opened to him, and innumerable unique beings and servants subjugated to him. That is the owner of the universe, Lord of the universe. I am his guest. Whatever I need, he provides for me. Of course, he puts the food on the table. What I have to do? I have to take it and swallow it, chew it and swallow it. But I have to do it. Or he creates the things and said, okay, make your meal according to your liking. Come on, according to your own taste. Cook it. I created it for you. It is ready. I created the heat for you. It is ready. The fire for you. It is ready. You can cook it. I created the knife and other things to utilities. You can really use them. And according to your taste, do it. But I create everything for you. That is passivity. That realization is important, that everything is created by him, and I am only a guest receiving the favors of my host. And a sphere so large, I have written something here, reliance on the absolute creator, eternal life, and a sphere so large has been prepared for his guests' recreation, amusement, and benefit, that half of its diameter is as long and broad as the imagination can stretch. Now, opening up into infinity, actually. Why? I know that my owner has no limit at all in his power, in his knowledge, in his mercy, in his justice. He has no limit at all. So he can provide me the paradise I imagine, the best life, eternal life, perfect life, permanent life, and no trouble at all. Who can do it? The king of the universe can do it. So the guest relies on the capacity of the host of the universe, host of the creator of human beings. Any comment? So passivity shouldn't be misunderstood. Doing nothing, no. Behave as a guest. Don't try or don't pretend to be the owner of the house. That is the difference between a believer and a non-believer. So I am a guest here. I trust my host. Disbeliever says, I own the house. I will entertain myself. I will try my best to satisfy myself. As a human being, impossible. Now, sorry, please go ahead.
I'm sorry, Brother Ali. Earlier, there was a sentence about domestic animal in the previous paragraph you were reading. I didn't get the point about domestic animals even. What is it trying to emphasize?
Domestic animals even. I can, although we see that wild animals are really getting their fruit. That's what I understood, but please help me. Let's understand it rightly together. Now, wild animals seem to be getting their food themselves and preparing their own shelter, taking care of their own children by themselves, not under the protection of anyone. But he says, you cannot be like them, even domestic animals. So you cannot be as happy as the domestic animals, because domestic animals represent the animals like goats and sheep and cows and cattle, all kinds of cattle, horses, etc. Their needs are taken care of by their masters. They seem to be very happy. Why? Everything is provided by them. Yes, domestic animals. They are happy, but if you don't really trust in your creator and act in his name, you cannot be as happy as a domestic animals either, because domestic animals seems to be happy because everything is taken care of by their shepherds, owners, masters. But still you cannot be as happy. They are happy in their being, but you cannot be happy as much as a domestic animal is, because it is taken care of. But if you don't, that is the condition, as I understood, attach or attribute your being to your creator and accept that you are a guest here taken care of by the creator of the universe. Your host is the creator of the universe. Only then your human faculties, human expectations, not bodily expectations, bodily satisfaction, but human satisfaction can be satisfied. Otherwise, you cannot be as happy as even domestic animals. That's what I understood from there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me see. Adam, what does, okay. I think it is discussed there. All right. Thus, if man relies on his ego and making worldly life his goal, attempts to taste temporary pleasures while struggling to make his living, he becomes submerged within an extremely constricted sphere, then departs, dies. It means then dies. And this man, if a person relies on his ego and making worldly life his goal, that is what I have to satisfy my worldly life, attempts to taste temporary pleasures. Temporary, it means I'm going to make the best food to satisfy my taste of, my sense of taste, and enjoy it. This is temporary pleasure. But they don't see who provided, who created this food for you, who created yourself, your need. They don't think about it. So they can only get temporary taste. Temporary. Eat it and finish. But the believer will realize that the food is provided by the King of the universe, Lord of the universe, and he is taken care of by him, and he creates the food in order to introduce himself as the merciful host of the universe, and providing what we need. Air is ready there, sunlight is ready there, earth is ready, working for me, climate and seasons are arranged by him for me. that is the difference between two attitudes, believing man and disbelieving man. Now, what happens to the disbelieving people, relying on their ego? All the members, systems, and faculties given him, will testify against him at the resurrection and will bring a suit against him. It means complain the Creator. This man misused us, employed us in the wrong way, not according to the purpose of our existence. Now, I edit these two verses here from section Fussilet, Surah Fussilet of the Quran, 41st section of the Quran, verse 20-21. So, حتى إذا ما جاءوها شهد عليهم سمعهم وأبصارهم وجلودهم بما كانوا يعملون وقالوا لجنودهم. It's very interesting. It's beautiful. In Arabic also very simple. I mean, yes, at first it's very simple. لما شهدتم علينا قالوا انطقنا الله الذي أنطق كل شيء وهو خلقكم أول مرة وإليه ترجعون. Let me read it out, although most of you are familiar with the vocabulary of these verses. When they reach it, their ears, eyes, it here, of course, in the context understood in the hereafter. Of course, these people are disbelieving people. You can put it in parentheses, hell. Yeah, so that we can understand it easily. When they were brought to hell, their ears their ears, eyes, and skin will testify against what they used to do on the judgment day. So God will say, okay, I gave you all this capital. What did you do with this capital? Human capital, which is immense, almost really limitless capacity. So they will testify. All the ears, eyes, and skin, as the Quran lists them, will testify against what they used to do. They will say, the ears, eyes, skin, all the human capacities, they will say, they, the people themselves, will say to their skins, why did you testify against us? And their skins will reply, God, who gave speech to everything, has given us speech. They will speak there. It was He who created you the first time, and to Him you have been returned. There are many comments, actually. Comments on these verses. So this what I understood from these verses, all these beings are in fact speaking. How? Through their creation here, through their creation, the way they are created, in their physical being, we can see the meaning of their speech, but it is an act of creation, through act of creation, not verbal expression. But since they have this quality of expressing themselves in a silent way, through their creation, like a beggar sitting in a modest way in the corner of a street and stretching out his hands like this. He's speaking and saying that I need money, please support me, help me. He doesn't have to say it. You understand it. But this capacity of expressing themselves infers that they have the capacity of the speech in the hereafter. How come? Look, we don't notice. How do you think my body speaks? My body is matter, and it speaks. It turns the ideas into verbal expression. But it is going on with my material body. Isn't that interesting? We take it that human beings speak. How? How? Especially the materialist biologists, they say everything is the product of body. Body speaks, man. How? Now, if they don't understand that, the creation speaks to declare the qualities of their creator, then the same creation can speak like the body of human being speaks in the hereafter, next creation. Why not? Everything speaks. I can speak as well. Every matter speaks in their existence here, and also, like human beings speak here, human body, it can produce verbal expressions, then they also will be able to express their narrations, whatever they want to say, in verbal expressions. So, what does it mean? The eye and skin and ears, whatever human qualities will speak there, it means they will witness. They will witness. How come? If you take a video of a person who is doing something right or something wrong, the video itself, for example, if someone tries to break into a house, right, in order to steal something, if there is a camera taking the picture takes or what? The skin of the man outside, body appearance. And the picture, by looking at the video, the police or the judge looks at it like, this video shows that you were the one, and tells me that, this video tells me that you were the one who broke into this house. Here is your picture, here is what we have done. Witnessing. So all our actions are taken in videos of our actions are taken here. Everything is recorded. Everything is recorded. Because you see that, we read the example, you see that a tree grows, or an animal grows. What happens? At the end, tree produces a seed. What we find in the seed, surprisingly, all the life story of the tree, from the beginning to the end, are recorded. Wow, the seed wasn't here when I was in the form of a small shoot, small plant. The first growth out of the seed. It is recorded there. How it happened, everything is recorded there. But the seed wasn't there Now we understand that the creation is taking place in such a way that it demonstrates whatever is happening in this world is recorded, video, filmed, and you will be shown to it. Why it is recorded? Because the seed of the tree it is recording of the life story of the tree in it. For what? There will be another tree out of it. There will be created another tree out of it. So we understand that everything is meaningfully being taking videos, so that it will be shown and another tree will be created out of it. Tree of Tuba or tree of Zakkum with the language of the Quran. Tree of Tuba represents a pleasant paradise life. Tree of Zakkum represents the horrible, unbearable tree of hell. That is how we understand the results of our whatever we are doing in this world, our activities. Unfortunately, the time is up and we are in the middle of the subject. But inshallah, we will continue next week. Those people who join from the US next week or tomorrow our discussion will be at the same time again as today. For those people who join from other parts of the world, not United States, there is no change for them, the same time. But we will be here at 3 o'clock, inshallah, not 4 o'clock. From 3 to 4, with the new clock. With the new clock. The time is the time, but the clock will change. So time doesn't change. That is Allah's setting. But clock is human concepts. It changes. It is human. So, inshallah, we will stop here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Thank you for joining. Inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, but United States clock will be